we're going to continue looking at our double stick drill, double Sinawali, and we're going to be adding some extra strikes within that drill. And what we're going to be moving forward towards is incorporating a carenza, which is basically, we could say, a freestyle striking, twirling exercise, which normally in full carenza would be basically a freestyle of combination of all types of strikes, movements, and different striking drills. But we're going to insert and build off of double Sinawali. So this would be one component to add into your carenza style of practice. It's by no means the entirety of what carenza would entail, but just a good starting place to give you some variations off something that we may be familiar with. So we're going to start with our drill. If you've seen the previous video on double Sinawali, if not, go back and check that out. We have the high, low chamber, chambered like a normal strike, and one under the arm. So we have 3 basic strikes: in, out, out, and recoil from the right side and then off of the left side. So we're going to count these off and look at it as a 6-beat or 6-movement drill. So we're going to have movement 1, 2, 3, and then the opposite side counting 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to use those numbers, and that's what we're going to start adding and substituting some various types of strikes into that basic drill. So it's going to be really simple. We're just going to start and go through the order. So number 1 variation is with that 1 strike. So after I throw a number 1, we're in our cross position. Normally, we're uncrossing with that number 2 strike, but I'm going to add a recoil strike. So if I come through with the number 1 beat and then I throw a recoil strike back, the recoil strike puts me back in the position of the drill that I was just in. So I just simply continue with the rest of the drill. So there would be the 2 beat and the 3 beat. All right, and then I could continue with the 4, 5, 6 beat. Now we can look at this for simplicity. We'll probably concentrate mostly on the 1 through 3 beat. Everything can be added to the 4, 5, 6 beat. Meaning, if I go 1 beat, recoil strike, 2, 3, then I move to the 4 beat. This is the same as the 1 beat, so with the left hand I would strike and pull back, then do the 5th, 6th count like this. So we're going 1, recoil, 2, 3 on the right side. So we've got a couple of different ways of looking at the drill. We'll continue and just go beat by beat with the recoil method. So as I do the 1 beat, now comes the 2 beat. So the 2 beat is normally a backhand like a number 2. So as I chamber out here, I could come in with a 1 to re-chamber. That puts me where I'm at in my drill. Then the 3 beat would follow. So as we reset on the right side, we'd have 1, 2, recoil, 3, like that. Now as we come back, we'll just move on into the drill. So we have the 1 beat, the 2 beat, the 3 beat, but if we notice, the 3rd beat is a little different. It's not a follow-through strike. The 3rd beat is already a recoil strike. So if we add a recoil to it, we're essentially just double striking, which would be fine to do. So we could go 1 count, 2 count, 3 count, and rechamber like this. Now that would seem somewhat redundant, but that's still okay to double hit with the same strike. So one thing to take into consideration is with this basic simple addition is what's going to broaden it out and make it look a little more in depth is changing our height. We don't always have to strike head level. So I have for simplicity's sake, we'll say our high level, mid level, and low level, which on the 12 basic strikes would be our 1, our 3, and depending on which 12 version, in the older version and the newer version, right, that would be a 9 strike, and then at the midpoint, this was taught as an 8 strike at times. The numbers doesn't matter. If you're doing different styles, you may have different numbering systems, but you should be familiar with these strikes. So as an example, if we go back off of the first beat, we'd have 1, and then we could recoil at heaven level or high level, then come with the 2 beat, 3 beat. So everything was at head level there. Now that feels pretty good a lot of times because we have this underhand chamber. When I recoil back to the head, I like that. And that's coming in and back to the other side to the head. So combatively, that makes a lot of sense. But if we wanted to, we could come through and then fire knee level, then come back to head level, and then come back. Right? We can add that mid level. It's perfectly fine to add the mid level. You know, a lot of times in demonstrations, I just show the extreme as high and low, and then the middle's, of course, in the middle. So sometimes in demonstrations, it doesn't look a whole lot of difference. You're not going to notice as much of a difference between high and middle or low and middle, but you will see that difference in high to low. So a couple more examples as we go. 1, striking high, recoil low, back high, and then back high. So we're building this off of the basic double Sinawali pattern, which is all high. At later times, we'll show you some variations on that drill, which would also include different levels within the basic drill. So one more that we'll look at would be, we have the 1 beat, the 2 beat coming up high, then attacking low, then back high. Then the 3rd beat, we'd go 1, 2, so we could recoil strike down low and then come back high and go into our 4, 5, 6. So this is just some basic additions of adding some recoil strikes within the basic double Sinawali drill.